Welcome down the rabbit hole, friends. I'm here today to follow up on a brand new topic that I brought up in my live last night with everyone who joined me. There is a new YouTube channel called Mom of 8 Kids, which has burst onto the YouTube scene with some extremely sensitive and potentially problematic content.
It's been 39 hours since my husband suddenly passed away. I have 8 kids. My 2 eldest is 20 and 16.
I first heard about this channel about a week ago on my For You page, and immediately afterwards, I started receiving messages from several of you, making me aware of the channel and wanting to know what I had to say, what were my thoughts and feedback about what was going on. Because so many of us, especially creators on YouTube, have become highly sensitive about family vlogs and channels after what happened with Ruby Frankie and the 8 Passengers famous and popular YouTube channel. But specifically with this new channel, Mom of 8 Kids, it burst onto the scene out of nowhere. And the content trigger warning was all about how the primary content creator had recently, like within the past 24 hours, lost her husband.
Kind of have the shakes a little here. It's 3:25 in the morning. I got up at 2 a.m. and it's been 3 days since my last video.
She lets us know that her husband was the financial breadwinner in the family. On top of that, he organized everything in their lives, and she married him when she was 19 years old and he was 50. So he was always in charge, keeping things in line, and she depended wholeheartedly on him in making decisions about their family, deciding what they were going to do, where they were going to go next, and providing, obviously, financially for all of her 8 children.
And the reason why I am putting this out there is because I think it'll help me a lot with trying to get through this very difficult time. It's the most difficult time I've ever had to face in my life.
According to her most recent videos, she was devastated and confused after the loss of her husband under what some would consider like somewhat suspicious circumstances, and she didn't know what to do moving forward, and she was making these videos to turn to her YouTube audience to crowdsource and say, what should I do? Please help me. I don't know what's coming next. If anybody has any information out there, let me know. And also, I've started a Patreon and I could really use some financial help as well. So if you're so inclined, donate. And one of the craziest parts about all of it is that this content creator had been making videos for maybe 3 months before her most recent content started. She may have been receiving only 10 to 12 views per video, but once she started vlogging about her husband's death, her views shot up to above 100,000.
Mom of 8 Kids here. It's 2 o'clock in the morning and our baby is finally asleep on my husband, his dad, and we're watching music on the TV.
Which means that her video became popular and therefore was shown to a lot more people, pushed to people who might like that kind of content. So now all of us were viewing it and asking questions and going backwards to look at her old videos, which come across to many of us as quite odd. For example, she has a string of videos about doing pedicures on her 70-year-old husband's very unusual feet. So I don't know what the content was supposed to be before this horrible tragedy happened in her life, but when people went back and looked at it, they started questioning the channel even more. I brought this to you last night in my live. We talked about it. It turned out many of you had been watching and wondering as well. And I'm here today, less than 24 hours later, to give you a down and dirty rundown on what's happened in the past 10 hours because so much information has come forward and now things are making a lot more sense. So let's take a look. All right, so we can see here that in the past 20 hours, Mom of 8 Kids has put out her most recent video entitled Two Police Came. This video is quite short. It's only 4 minutes in length, and it's a great video to watch because it explains a little bit more to me about what's going on. After receiving a lot of criticism and questions, but also a lot of support, Mom of 8 actually had, according to her, a couple of police officers show up at her door and state that they had received a call from someone on YouTube who was concerned about her and they just wanted to check in. And this video addresses all of that. And I think it addresses it, in my opinion, in a very humble and kind manner. Mom of 8 Kids actually comes forward and says, thank you for someone calling and caring enough about me to say something and do something about my situation. This is the hardest time of my life, and it actually makes me feel like there are people out there who care about me. And that was not what I was expecting from this kind of a video. Mom of 8 Kids explains that throughout her lifetime with her husband, the two of them had decided that they just didn't really trust outsiders very much, that a lot of people had been very unkind to them throughout their lives. We don't know all of what needs to be unpacked here. There's clearly a lot going on. But this video specifically comes across as very honest and forthright to me.
And she wouldn't have blurred out the date and time to begin with, which is what I'll keep on saying. Purpose of trying to make money, to trying to get people to donate, as their disability benefits are running out. If people want to donate, they can donate. However, the way in which she was portraying it is completely wrong. Which, by the way, she's actually unblurred the date and the time since people were calling her out. If she didn't want people to know.
However, several content creators and subscribers got into the comments of all of these videos, and they were letting Mom of 8 know that they had seen on her cell phone that these videos were actually taped in July, and that there were other content creators who were talking about this and freeze framing the shot and letting everyone know that things weren't adding up. And Mom of 8 responded in the comments like this. And if you would like more information about the Mom of 8 responses in the comments, Amy Robinson is doing a great job of following this story, so check out her channel. But here Mom of 8 writes back to all of the people who are questioning her videos. Please note, I opened a Patreon account yesterday, 1 week after posting my first grieving video. I'm not frauding anyone or deleting comments. I did mention that my husband's disability will be running out, and that is October 31st of this month. He died in July of this year. These videos were recorded as they were happening. I am trying my best to stay consistent with the timeline. I appreciate you for listening and watching. Thank you so much. I wish you the best. So Mom of 8 is rightfully coming forward and letting us know that it's true. These videos were recorded starting in July, and she's presenting them as though they're happening in real time, but she just thought that wasn't too big of a deal. She's clearly made a video vlog of what it was like for her to lose her husband and everything that she's gone through since then while being the mom of 8 kids. And she's posting the videos now after she's recovered a little bit from everything that's happened. You can see in the latest videos she's much more coherent and more like herself. And I actually respect this a lot more than I may have respected her just posting unconsciously on the internet as 24 hours after her husband passed away. It seemed like she took some time. She made the vlogs on her own, kept them on her computer, just kind of trying to figure out what her life was like. She may have been thinking it would be good to get some donations back then, but she didn't throw them up on YouTube looking for that money. She clearly took some time to think about what she was going to do. And now that she's reaching the end of the point in which she will no longer be receiving some financial support from the state, she's decided to put these vlogs out, make them public, and see if she can get any kind of financial help from it. And I personally don't have a problem with that. I actually think it's brave And potentially one of the better ways to go about trying to rebuild her family, to come forward and say, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't get out of the house. I've got these small kids. Should I get a job? Maybe I could try this social media thing. Let me be really honest about what's going on with my life. I'll reach out to people. I'll let them know. I'm going to put this vlog up and let them know, like, this has been so hard. And maybe I'll get some people who can relate to me and chat back and forth with me. And I'm a very, like, isolated person who may be through this experiment with putting this information out, can find people to relate to, can find like a different way of looking at the world. She's clearly a vulnerable person, someone who's been through a lot. And I think that we can take a deep breath. And for me, I'm choosing to believe that what she's putting out there is true. I know that I plan to donate a little bit of money. And I always say when you go forward to donate something, just donate what you can afford. So that if it does come out that something about the situation just isn't true or it's not what you thought it was, you won't be resentful or angry or need to take your money back. That's something, because I've seen this happen before where people ask for their money back if something isn't exactly how it was portrayed on social media. And for me, it's like I donate enough where I feel comfortable. And once I donate, that money is for that person to do with what they want with it. If they want to go to Wendy's and buy 20 junior bacon cheeseburgers or put it towards a new car or whatever, like that's their decision. I'm not going to judge. So if you feel comfortable with donating, then, I always recommend that you donate really just what you can afford to donate without feeling angry if the person uses it in a way that you're not, you maybe didn't always intend it for. But for me, I'm looking at this situation like someone who comes from a low-income, non-Instagram perfect house and perfect family, probably has a lot of things that they're dealing with, some stuff that they're going to need to work through. It's not perfect. It's far from being perfect, and she's not acting like it's perfect. She's owning up to the fact that her home isn't the most clean home, that she's got some issues going on with her family, the fact that she lets us know very upfront that her husband was significantly older than her. She does not seem to be hiding these facts that people are going to judge her about. And I saw a lot of judgment in the comments. But for me, I look at her and I see someone who's really trying to do their best. Based upon what I can see on the screen, she wants to be a good mom and to do the best she can for her children. She's shocked by what happened with her husband. And this has been, as she says, one of the most difficult times of her life. Mom of 8 also writes in her comments, I only started Patreon yesterday, 1 week after I posted the first video. Yes, these were recorded as it was happening. I'm not trying to fraud anyone. The disability benefits are coming to an end. Thank you for your sincerity, and I appreciate it. She also writes, I have also recorded my husband being put to rest, and that video will be coming in the future. You know what? Mom of 8 isn't the only one who's been through something like this. I think that there are people out there who will really relate to her. There were definitely a lot of people in the comments sharing their own experiences, and I think that can be therapeutic for them and for her. If you are so inclined, check out this channel. Let me know what you think. I haven't watched all the videos. I haven't seen everything. I do believe that there are things going on in the videos that many of us would say, oh, that's not the best way to handle this situation. But many people would say that about the way I handle my own life as well, if I put it on screen. And I really like people who aren't Instagram perfect, because guess what? That's reality. I'm sorry, that's a little crazy, but that's reality. This is reality. This woman is living a not perfect life, but she has beautiful children. She's doing the best she can to raise them. And she's lost the person who she really depended upon to keep everything going. And now she's got to figure out a new normal for herself and her children. check out the channel if you're so inclined, and I will be back this evening around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to do a live in which I'm going to talk all about Moroni Jessup and what he's had to say about the Sister Wives, TLC, and their own documentary that they filmed about polygamy many years ago. I'm so excited to take a look at his TikToks. Moroni and his wife are heading off to England to do this symposium about polygamy. I'm excited for them. I'm going to be making a donation, and I hope some of you will donate along with me for Moroni. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Leave me comments. Let me know what you think. Check out this channel, and I hope you'll join me again when we head down another rabbit hole.